let's talk news. Let's talk VPR
Are we recording
news.
right now?
Yeah,
we
we're
are.
recording. So Vanderpump Rules, first of all, in really disappointing news to me, last season nominated for an Emmy for Best Reality Series. They should not be rewarded for this bad behavior.
Where was the Valley in the nominations? I feel sick.
Snubbed.
Yeah, biggest snub of the century, and now we said it.
We said it.
It's almost as shocking as when Marissa Tomei won the fucking Oscar for My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah.
This is what it feels like. This is My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah, I feel like Sheena Shea must have been, I'm starting to remember that she's sleeping with someone on the Emmy committee, the same way Marissa Tomei had that unfairly maligned against her for winning the Oscar.
Yeah, like Sheena Shea's giving me Joe Pesci from My Cousin Vinny. Big time. Propping up Ariana. So she
that's and then in lawsuit news, but also Traitors won, or they got some noms too. They got 4 noms: Best Host, finally, Alan Cumming recognized, and then Best Outstanding Reality TV Competitive Program, which I hope they win. Great
God
hair,
bless.
hope they win.
Yeah, and I mean, let's take all the credit for the nomination here.
Honestly, we lobbied hard.
Very hard.
We were the Bradley Coopers behind the scenes.
Yeah, we
rubbing elbows
so hard. Yeah, like our girlfriend is Gigi Hadid.
Yeah, we took her out
under our wing.
Yeah, under our wing to a hotel just to marathon all the Traitors.
Yeah. And and we also made her watch old episodes of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and she also thinks it's not a good show.
Yeah, she's with us 100p.
Yeah, very traumatic.
And that's why it got snubbed too. Also because it sucks.
Snubs and flubs.
Yeah, so it's like the Emmys, they did make up for acknowledging Vanderpump Rules' very bad work this season by snubbing Beverly Hills' continually terrible work.
So bad.
We'll give you guys that. And recognizing Traitors.
Thank you to the Academy.
Thank you to the Academy. And speaking of Traitors, Ariana showed twice today.
Oh my God.
What's going on?
Oh my God. What's going on?
What's going on? Have you heard of this? Do you know about this?
I do know about this because, like, I only subscribe to the New York Post and the Daily Mail, so like
this got picked up in the trades. It's more than just like Bravo, Instagram,
Variety. That's the trades.
That's the main trade. Yeah,
that's the trade, sis.
Yeah, that's the trade.
That's the trade, sis.
Yeah.
So many lawsuits just flying at her, and she's like, "I'm on a beach hosting a show in lingerie."
And they're like that show, it's popping. It's like the best ratings ever.
Yeah, I hear that it's doing really well and a lot of people really like it.
Yeah, it's it's a pretty hot season. I'm more of a Love Island UK girl, but I checked it out. It's it's drama.
Do all the girlies on the UK version sound like Oliver Twist? Because I wouldn't think that they would have the Queen's English. They do.
A lot of them are like the Northerners, so they're like, why did you snub us? Like there's a we and us. You always hurting our feelings. It's charming.
That's really good too. Yeah, like I need to watch Love Island UK just because I want to hear kind of like a popper like accent. There's really hot people with too much makeup.
Yeah, there's one girl who looks, kind of like a version of a Tammy Knickerbocker's daughter, like a beautiful blonde bronzer like type girl, but she's like, so is Paris a country or is it Europe? Is Europe a country? And it's so good. It's like, and she's like too hot to even pretend to like anyone. It's so good.
Oh, the voice work you're giving me. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Watch out, the
bar is always ironic. There's always ironic.
No. I mean, like, Jeremy Allen White is shaking right now from the bear. He's so, like, you're a threat.
Does he do an accent?
No.
But he is
threatened, but he's still shaking.
He doesn't want to get snubbed, and he knows we've got the snub power. So
he knows the show's
shaking, honey.
I'm sorry. He knows the show's not really a comedy.
And he knows the show, I'm sorry. It's all over the place.
He's stuck in revelation. Why is he stuck in a freezer?
Someone do a compilation of just the scenes where they're in the restaurant. I'm not interested in anything else.
I
Sorry,
don't
I
like
said it.
that like he left like that they closed the like beef and like they're like a fancy restaurant with like flowers and he's stuck in a freezer. I can't even watch season 3 and now we said it.
It's too all over the place. It's like, in TV, you write TV for the world, and they keep changing the world on us. It's like, just it's too much. I can't say. Real Housewives of OC, it's like, it stays in Kodo. They're not going to move it to Newport.
We're behind the gates, okay?
We go behind the gates. Every season, we're behind the gates.
I need to just be at the beef in Chicago. I don't need to see you, like, he's got a lot of trauma, okay? Like, save the trauma for your mama or something.
Yeah.
It's like
Jamie Lee Curtis also nominated for Best Guest Appearance at the Emmys, and now we're full circle.
I did like that episode with like John Mulaney and Jamie Lee Curtis, and
I heard she was great. Yeah, I'll give her that.
She is a great alcoholic on that episode.
Yeah, I think that's like her Oscar was like honorary. Yeah, we really liked you in that episode, and we really liked Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Speaking of alcoholics, Lauren.
Shall we get started?
Season 2 of Real Housewives of the OC.
All right, let's get into it. Good morning, students. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Michelle, and I'm in the darkness, baby. But Lauren's going to be all light and love.
Yeah, just so I could make some YouTube videos. Well, a YouTube podcast, which you might be watching it on right now. If not, check out our YouTube, Bravo Breakdowns. And to be making some TikTok and Instagram videos at Bravo_Breakdowns. So this is Bravo Breakdowns, your podcast study guide for reality TV. It's the only show where we recap an entire season of drama, fights, breakups, hookups in one episode and leave out all the boring parts where everyone gets along. And today we are breaking down season 2 of Real Housewives of Orange County.
Are you ready? I'm ready. I'm not stuck in a freezer like Carmy on the Bear. Okay.
Okay. So this season was released in January 2007. We are back behind the gates of the Orange County Community Coda de Casa with Gina, Vicky, Lori, and Joe returning, newbie Tammy Knickerbocker, and sixth housewife Slade as they navigate breakups, relationships, parenting, money, and work as Bravo slowly starts to realize that all of the castmates should hang out together more. And this season, they're getting a little closer. Michelle, do you remember watching this season, like in 2007, or like the reruns where they played a lot during the writer's strike?
I have to confess, I only went back and watched season 2 like a few years ago.
Really?
Yeah. So I probably got into OC like season 5, season 6, and then I went back and watched the episodes. Yeah, like the early seasons. But
wow, I did not. You mentioned last week that like you started with New York, but I didn't know that you were such a recent.
Yeah, no, it's one of my most
greatest regrets.
Yeah, it's my darkest secret. I've been rewatching Dexter with Jason, which is actually really fucked up. Does not hold up, that show. But anyway, this is my dark passenger that I got into OC season 5.
Well, honey, it's better late than never. And like season 5 was really when we started to kind of get cooking with the Naked Waste.
And we moved to like, widescreen versus the square. Like we're walking at season 1, season 2. But boy, these girls really made some magic. And there's just so many iconic moments, like classic Housewives iconic moments.
Yeah, that's
the best.
That was one of my main takeaways rewatching. I did watch this season when it aired. I remember what I remember vividly is the again the Joe and Slade stuff. Like I remember the Playboy party. I think because it's like the first of so many Playboy parties to come. Real Housewives of New York. Joe crawled so that Kelly Ben Simone could walk late into a Playboy party.
Yeah.
And then Joe's the singing always really sticks with me.
Singing and that the episode where she is in the booth and Slade is supposed to be coming with her Starbucks and he's running really late and the producer's getting very agitated with her that she cannot sing.
And it's kind of like she's refusing to. She's like, this will be fine. Like it's like a very codependent relationship. She's like, when Slade is here and I have caffeine, I'll be all better.
Yeah, like I'm like so different when Slade is here and I have Starbucks. I'm a completely different gal.
But honestly, like I remember thinking it was so cringe, but maybe it's just because of like, I don't know how much I I still really liked Joe watching, and I still really like her rewatching. It's like, it's almost like I feel like she's almost freakishly mature, other than like dating Slade. And it is like nice for her to like have this moment of like being like a friggin' dorky, like insecure, embarrassing 25-year-old instead of like,
who's
I
like,
think she's extraordinarily self-possessed.
That she's moving to LA.
Yes, big moves. Oh, you know what else really struck me about the season though, before we dive in? The level of honesty we're getting. It's like, we don't even really need, like, the drama is like the least, like the drama between the women is the least interesting part. Like, I don't even really give a shit. But like, everyone, it reminds me of the Valley. Everyone's relationships are falling apart and they are just talking about it on camera. It's like, we need to get back to that.
Yeah, we need, show your whole ass on TV again, you guys. This is when like the most beautiful moments rise to the top.
Yeah, I mean, because like, imagine when we have like, we had 2 storylines like this on the Valley this season, and it was like, oh my god, it was God's gift. It was, like, we heard, like, we saw the face of God, and I mean, this is like
Jesse.
And it was Jesse, and this is every single guy is Jesse. And this, I wish we could get this level of raw, but like, you're lucky if you get one good storyline that isn't like interpersonal drama between the women these days.
Do you know who's like the most Jesse this season? Michael.
Michael,
Vicky's son.
There's a lot of.
He's Jesse
all the men are Jesse though. Yeah, there's
Shane is very Jesse coded.
Shane is very
Shane and Michael like walked so Jesse and Jax could run.
Yeah, amen. And yeah, that's definitely what it reminded me most of. Also, that they could be honest about that they're kind of getting famous and they're getting more access. I miss old Bravo. I'm sorry. Okay.
Enough. Oh God, Enough. Taylor Armstrong.
Enough. So, let's get into first our star, our girly, Vicky. Vicky Gunvalson is back. She's still girl bossing at Kodo Insurance, and according to her family, being too bossy with her son Michael and daughter Brianna's lives, relationships, and friendships. But don't worry, this Aries plays as hard as she works.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So probably Vicky's big moment.
Yeah.
Big moment this season. Big moment of her career, I think.
One of the highlights. This isn't a highlight reel. This is like huge.
This is kind of when the producers kind of realized, oh, this is what the show is supposed to be.
And she's a star. Like,
and
Vicky, a star is born. Like, I'm sorry, Lady Gaga, but like, truly, a star is born.
It should have been about her. It should have been Bradley Cooper driving past Vicky.
He's driving the van.
He's driving the van. As Vicky is planning a trip to Europe for her family, and she has booked a limo with like catered food and mimosas in the car, and and then what shows up instead is a family van. Do you think that can fit 6 people? She's screaming on the phone. She's screaming because it's just a van. I mean, they're just going to the airport, so it's like it's Bob Hope is probably
her family's staring at her like
what the hell?
What the
like,
fuck?
Like, it's fine. Like, they won't bring the cameraman, but she wanted it to be this big moment and like all be on tape and they're all enjoying and stuff, and she loses her goddamn mind, and her entertaining Vicky screaming, like the volume and the level she gets to. I don't think that's the thing about a lot of great performers. It's like that they can kind of get to a level and intensity
she can reach octaves
that others can't reach. Yeah. It's like, earth-shaking.
Yeah, Vicky's whole her demeanor changed. Like, everything changes when she's screaming. Like, it is such a treat to watch.
It's like, it's Richter scale registering.
It's just, that she's got that X factor. What can you say? She's a star. She's always making moments. Always.
She's always making moments. Another great moment she makes is, and this is one that Michele, it's near and dear to your heart, is when she decides to surprise
it's my favorite.
Her son Michael during game day at his school.
Yeah.
And just shows up and then is shocked when he's like, what the fuck? fuck that she
mom?
came
Yeah,
and brought cameras.
she shows up with a case of beer, and her son's on a Razor phone. That's what we're in. And his, like, mouth is on the floor, and Vicky walks in, like, holding, like, a 12-pack of beer, and she's like, oh, like, Michael's freaking out. He's upset that his mom's there. Vicky starts crying. Then Michael walks away to his, like, friends, and he's like, hey, like, hide the contraband, like, hide the drugs.
She hides in the bathroom weeping.
Yeah, Vicky's crying, meets his girlfriend, Michael's girlfriend, for the first time, and his girlfriend's having to comfort Vicky while she's crying because her son is embarrassed by his mom showing up with, like, a camera crew to his, like, fraternity house.
Telling him.
Yeah, without telling him, like, you're gonna be on camera. I'm showing up with the whole crew. I'm bringing a case of beer. But here's the thing, like, Vicky is so hot this season. Do you notice,
She
like,
looks
this?
so good. Oh my God.
She's, like, so hot. And, like, all of Michael's friends, like, when Vicky's in his room, like, crying, they all come up to her and, like, they're all giving her hugs. And, like, this one guy, like, goes in for, like, 3 different hugs from Vicky. She's so hot.
And that's what she was really going for, let's be honest.
And then
like,
she
did think that Michael would genuinely be excited. Like,
yeah. And she's like,
Mom!
He's like, why wouldn't you tell me? Like, because it's a surprise. You don't love me. You're not happy I'm here. He's like, Mom, like, you're embarrassing me. But then she does, like, a keg stand in the kitchen, and
everybody claps, and he goes, woohoo!
And, yeah.
Yeah. She also woohoos her way through Lake Havasu.
Oh, yeah. It's her home away from home.
Her home away from home with it's actually kind of sad that where it's like, well, this is like where all of my real friends live who don't judge me, and if I ever got in a horrible accident, they would help me with my ostomy bag and stuff. I'm like, do you not think your friends there, like in Orange County, would do that? Just move to Lake Havasu, dude. Your kids have, like, graduated.
Yeah, like Vicky, and I think this is also what makes her so special. It's just, like, she's so, like, depressed.
She's always thinking of, like, death and, like, yeah,
like, I'm gonna die. Like, one day we're all gonna die, and
yeah.
Michael, you don't like my surprises. Like, you don't love. Like, it's just, she gets, she's so funny though.
She's, like, so tough yet so, like, vulnerable.
She's like,
too.
Yeah.
And we definitely see that dynamic very much, with her. She's obviously still working at Kodo. Yeah. And Lori is still working there, like, a little bit for the show mostly, right. I think.
Yeah.
Because we'll get into it, but she doesn't need to anymore because she's rich. And
but she needs to have scenes with Vicky that seem authentic, and yeah.
Yeah, and Vicky is always giving talking heads about how jealous she is of Lori, or she's like, Lori doesn't have to work anymore. She's just pretty. I've had to work for everything I've ever had.
Fan doesn't love me.
Doesn't love me.
Golf.
Yes. Oh, she has a really creepy ongoing storyline where it's like probably my least favorite. Well, sometimes I like it, like when she compares herself to Jesus Christ, but sometimes her Christianity is creepy to me, where I'm like, I don't think she's ever been to church, but she's just, like, very into it, like, kind of culturally. And that she's, like, so into her daughter Brianna and Cody's sex life, where it seems like they're genuinely virgins saving it for marriage. And she's like, well, you can't fuck Brianna. Like, you guys have to be careful. Like, I don't trust you guys. She's just so intense of talking about her daughter's sex life on camera. I don't know.
That's what all good mommies do.
It's a very Orange County thing.
Fully embarrass their children on screen.
And grill them about,
sex and
that they're virgin nerds. Do you think they were doing it?
Oh.
Do you think they were doing it, Brianna and Cody?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, the way that, like, Jason and I do it, or, like, probably, like, you and Cam do it, like, it's very,
doggy?
It's, like, barely.
Yeah, like, yeah.
It's, like, it's, like, barely sex.
Yeah.
But in a good way, in a way that we
But in a good way. Yeah. She probably just did anal, because then it's, like, Christian.
Yeah, so then it's, like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't done that recently. I'm sitting down. Jason, cut that.
Yeah, cut that. I haven't. I'm not a fan, but
I don't like it. It hurts.
Our butts are too messed up for that.
They're too crazy. It's too much. Don't make me.
Don't make me. Oh God, yeah, never make me.
Don't make me. No one's ever made me. Jason, there's so much here you have to cut, otherwise you are going to prison.
Their husbands
Don't make me.
Jesus Christ.
Don't make me.
Well, anal sex, that's another, that's a recurring motif on OC too that comes back
And
many
I said,
times.
oh yeah, well he'll still cut this, but the Instagram lady, the new Vanderbeek girl that dropped, the sex lady.
The new I don't know if
I sent you that on Instagram, like Kimberly Vanderbeek's like new lady that she loves.
I don't think I saw that one. Sometimes it reopens the old stories and I don't see the new ones.
Oh yeah, I messaged you. Anyway, Jason, take that out too. She's like a 6-year-old like sex lady, sex therapist or whatever, and she's like, if you're not squirting, then you're not doing sex, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, she's like, you should be squirting to the ceiling. And she did like an Instagram live with Vicky Vanderbeek last night.
Did she make her squirt?
No, but Kimberly's gonna take the course.
Oh my God. Well, but it's like it's just so crazy. This is like, okay, now that these hippies have gone too far, because it's like, have they seen porn? Like anyone can squirt. Like
to
you
the
can make
ceiling,
someone.
Though? And she's like, you need to be squirting to the ceiling, and you need to be able.
Ceiling, it's just about trajectory. It's just about like.
I'm not squirting to the ceiling, and she said if you're,
I'm not, but you can't. I've seen porns where they do it to a bunch of people.
They're not squirting those girls. They're peeing. Okay, this all has to come out. By the way,
okay, yeah. Well, okay, let's just.
Vicky, Jason, cut all of that. So, okay, Vicky.
Back to Vicky.
Let's Christian.
Vicky. Yes, I think Vicky's probably to wrap up. Vicky, my favorite Vicky moment this season is again we finally get all the girls together a couple times, and one time they are seeing an astrologist. Yes. Our first astrologer scene in all of Housewives. We're getting into
the psychic moments. Like this is like a big thing that's going to happen for every Housewives franchise all of the time, and it's so special.
And it's Vicky who really made it a moment.
I love her.
Because she really like was the voice of a generation, because it's like, we're all so obsessed with horoscopes and identity now. Yeah. Well, Vicky was the first because she felt so lost and self-loathing that she went to the astrologer and she said, "What's mine? What's wrong with me? What do I have? Is that why I'm like this? Why am I bad?" He's like,
Aries.
You're an Aries. And she's like, "Oh, okay. So what's that?" And he's like, "Well, you just have a lot of energy." She's like, "See, it's not my fault. Don, it's not my fault. I'm just an Aries.
It's just because I like to work. I'm a fire sign, Don."
And it's so sad, but also relatable.
It's so Vicky too.
Don't we all look on our co-star and app and be like, "Oh, that's why I'm a Gemini. Nothing's wrong with me. I'm just a piece of shit."
I don't even know what your sign is. No. What are you, Lauren? I don't even know. I'm
like a Gemini.
What are you? Are that's right, because you and Jason are like, you have birthdays right next to each other.
Yeah. I'm a cusp, and he's more of a real gem.
I'm a Sagittarius.
I don't know what that means.
Sagittarius.
No, but I don't really know what that's like.
I'm a philosopher and stuff.
Oh, okay. I could see that. Yeah.
Sorry. Also fire sign.
Okay. I could definitely see fire sign for sure.
Because I'm not well.
It's not your fault. Yeah, your father's fine.
Van. You never send a fire sign a family van. Let's get it straight.
And rule number 1. And now we said it. Okay, so then we have our new cast member, Tammy Knickerbocker. Tammy is a new addition to the cast. She's a single mother of 3 who lost all of her money and moved back near her ex in Koto to raise her 2 adult daughters close to their dad, while the father of her 4-year-old son is one of the season's biggest surprises. The way they unveil.
Wow.
It's like the end of Mad Men when you realize he had a family all along. Like they did it so smoothly, and they didn't like pat themselves on the back for it all. Yeah. I mean, bravo to Bravo on the editing, where like you meet Vicky's new assistant, this guy Duff. He's like kind of this handsome guy, and he's like, "I miss my girlfriend. We were together 10 years, and now we had to move here from Palm Springs, and I love her, but she didn't love me, but I got to be close to my son." And then this whole time we're hearing about Tammy, who like has 2 older daughters and like a rich ex-husband and they lost all of their money. Doesn't mention anything about an ex-boyfriend, and then suddenly like 3 episodes in, they are getting together and she's dropping the son off with Duff. It's Duff's son. She's the lady he was talking about. I was like, oh my shit. Do anything like this again. Bravo is so like thinks it's for dummies
this is
now.
So insane.
Like, it's like so good.
Where I don't know why she ever left the show.
I love her on this show. Like, she's so beautiful.
Okay, but she also kind of looks. I mean, and I say this as a compliment, like, because I think she's gorgeous. But she looks like Kathy Wakili to me.
I could see Kathy Wakili. I mean, I think that, no offense to Kathy, but I just think she was like Courtney Cox to me, Timmy Knickerbocker. Like, she's so gorgeous.
And
She's like
yeah,
Nelly Furtado, you know?
okay, yeah, but like not Courtney Cox from the Screen movie where she fucked up her bangs.
No, yeah. Although Tammy, honestly, she could rock a baby bang. I think she's got the bone structure. Duff would still pine over her.
And she's got a lot to say about breast implants. I love
Yes, and
that.
she is very like also I like the way that it's like she's just kind of been through a lot and she is
Oh my
dead
God.
inside. I
Yeah.
don't even think she's on pills. She is just
She's
kind
just
of like
dead, like
dead to
walking.
the world.
Yeah, like when you see her like walking through, like, didn't that house like get burned down or something? And she's like,
it flooded.
yeah,
Their toilet exploded and then it just flooded.
she's
That's
like,
your nightmare, Michelle.
this was my kitchen. Yeah, no, I told you, I broke my toilet again. I had the
I
plumbers here
know.
yesterday. I keep
You could be
breaking
a
it the same
Tammy.
way.
Oh my, well, by taking a big dump?
No, by cleaning my toilet. I have those Clorox
Oh yeah.
toilet ones, and you're supposed to flush the toilet before you clean your toilet with the Clorox ones, and I keep getting, because they come off and like, and it keeps getting sucked up my toilet, and
Why don't you just use a brush? Use a toilet brush.
it's not sanitary. But I've spent, like, this is not a joke. I have spent over $1,000 on plumbers for this same reason. Like,
yeah, I mean, like, sewage water filling up your bathroom isn't sanitary either. You know, I think it's like, what's,
so
which
like
hand?
I relate to Tammy on so many levels, but
That's
really only
true.
this one.
Really, this, yeah, this is more like your fear, your greatest fear.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, so we do say goodbye to Kimberly, who we talked a little bit about last episode. I love that they did like. That's another thing. I wish they do a nice little send off for her. They let her drive off in her little car.
Yeah, and she's like, I mean, it is kind of like sad when she's like, it's like I have to like uproot my family because of my melanoma. Just
yeah.
Oh God.
What? God,
yeah. Okay. Bye.
I don't think it was that. The melanoma was like negative, but I think it was just like that happening on the show. She was like, and now I never want to be here again.
Yeah, she's like, I gotta move. I gotta never show my face in Kodo again. I gotta move to fucking where she was, Chicago.
Yeah, back to Chicago. But I think that's good for her because I think also it was like she was just being like a trophy wife because she and her husband, I think, thought it was like a fun kind of sexy role playing thing. And then why am I talking so much about her? She's actually a fascinating person the more that we talk about her. But I think it was just like a fun thing for her. And then she was like, this really isn't me. I want to like go back to work.
Yeah, I want to go back to the Midwest and eat the beef.
Eat the beef.
Italian beef.
She's a nice Midwestern girl, which we hear a lot about them this season. As being the reason you stay with someone miserable. And how? Oh, yeah. Okay, so so the shocking reveal of Duff, it's so crazy. And then like Duff is always trying to like get back together with her too. And you can tell he's
relentless.
He's relentless. I mean, you can tell that like he's just like this like hot like 48-year-old guy who's lived like a charmed life and like never, like a surfer, like laid back dude, and like he just wants what he can't have. He doesn't really want to settle down. He's like not really serious about it. You can tell she's just like so over it. She's like, what about you and me? We run off to Vegas, and she's like, I'm gonna go.
Like she's literally like been and going through like the most stuff.
Yes, yeah,
it's like insane.
Wait till next season.
And like and she's got this like 4-year-old. Like it's like crazy. Like her daughters, like
she's got 2 daughters. One is like
they just want to party.
Are you familiar with those the photography gentleman's website called Suicide Girls? Students. Are you familiar with it, Michelle?
I thought you were asking me specifically. No, I've dated many a men who were like,
why couldn't you be like this?
Well, yeah, they're like, why can't you like look like this? And I was like, I'm not white.
Yeah,
that's number one. They're all
one.
Very,
number two.
Like, they're like where white
pale.
people come from.
Yes, very like albino, like very expensive tattoos covering their bodies.
Yes.
Usually kind of a pinup girl or a steampunk aesthetic.
A MySpace girl.
A MySpace girl, a thin arched brow.
Yes.
very into pit bulls, very into bald men of a certain age who work in blue collar jobs. That is Megan, Tammy's oldest daughter. She is of that Suicide Girl ilk.
Yeah.
And then she also has Bronzer daughter, who is 17 and wears more bronzer than anyone, like to the point where we're getting into is this racially okay?
Yeah, like
territory.
we're getting into like, Luann de Lesseps dressed as Diana Ross for Halloween a little bit.
Very much that. And so they're in Kodo to be closer to these girls' dad, Lou. Lou Knickerbocker is claims that he has money again. He lost all his money, claims he has it again. It's like, oh great.
That's wonderful.
The way he proves he has money again is that he brings all of the girls in the cast in to form a modeling group that's going to travel worldwide called the OC Aqua Air Angels, and they will promote an energy drink called Aqua Air, which he says, we've developed a way to take oxygen from the air and put it into water to make water. And that's what they will be promoting.
I love an entrepreneur. Like, I love a mind like that. Like, had Shark Tank been on during this time.
Sharks? Yes,
I have an idea. Get this man in front of Mark Cuban immediately.
Mark Cuban would love the OC Aqua Air Angels. He would be all over it.
Yeah.
All of these 16 to 19-year-old girls, but also Lou is like, it's like the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. He's all about their image. He's like, sorry, they've got to maintain a 3.6 GPA or they cannot be an Aqua Air Angel. They cannot be overweight.
Yep.
They cannot have tattoos. Yep. Basically, they cannot be my older daughter.
But they cannot be my daughter. Yeah.
But they can be my other daughter, who I do still love.
I still love her. Yeah.
And they're doing, I mean, it's like not like a terrible idea. It kind of is like Carl's job from Loverboy.
Yeah.
Like it's the same business model to get like the, performers from the show to go from bar to bar, schlocking your product.
Yeah. It's like, everybody's got to make a living, Lauren. Like, don't stop his bag.
Yeah. It's just a little creepy that it's like all teenagers, and one of the teenage girls, they get in a fight because he gives one of them a Hummer as their car.
Yes, not
like he doesn't.
Camera? When Lauren says Hummer, it's the actual car. It's not him like sticking his head in her boobs.
No. He has a Thai wife that he has a mail order bride like the rest of his friends. No,
he's such a good guy.
He's yikes. It's all rough, but there is like a really great early like reality TV flavor of love, Bad Girls Club type fight between the OC Aqua Air Angels on camera. There's two brunette ones, and they're all getting their makeup done for like a photo shoot, a calendar shoot, and like one of them, they like had a fight over a guy or something, and so one of them is walking out and she bumps up and like pushes up against like the shoulder of the other one who's talking to like Gina Keogh's daughter Kara, and then the girl whips around, grabs her by her hair. They're punching each other. Lou is like just like totally unfazed, walks between them and breaks it up. Doesn't even fire either of them. Is like, okay, break it up.
Honestly,
and then just goes back to business.
These girls should have been put on like Charm School. Remember that show, Charm School?
Yes.
Oh God, that was a great show.
Yes, the clown jumped out in these girls and they needed to be gotten to Charm School. They needed Monique to put some charm. So the OC Aqua Air Angels I could talk about all day.
Yeah, they should have really got a spin-off.
They really should.
Yeah, Lauren's very passionate about these girls and Lou's idea.
It's like I love like how bad the name is, and I love that it's so Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders.
Women supporting women.
Exactly. Yeah, I love a powerful woman. I love a global ambassador.
Lauren's a big fan of like the. Yeah. And you like when young impressionable women are being told exactly what to look like, exactly what to do.
Love that. Molding young minds always ends up well. Oh yeah, and I do want to just discuss one more thing where Lori's daughter is really excited about the OC Aqua Air Angels because she's like, okay, this way I don't have to get a job. It's like I just take pictures for Lou on the show or whatever.
Ashley, such a star.
And Ashley, the head of the OC Aqua Air Angels, the one who drives the Hummer, she's like, so we are actually going to go to a veterans hospital.
Oh God.
And then Ashley's like, oh, like where? Like global? And then she's like, no, like, like it's like where the injured, like people from the war come from, like so as and such as Iran, Afghanistan. And then Ashley goes, oh, you mean to Vietnam?
Oh my God.
And then she's like, no. And then they're both like, it's like, oh my God. She still thought there was a war in Vietnam.
It's like she's got a lot going on too, Lauren. She's trying to keep the townhouse.
Okay, yeah. This will move us to Lori.
Yeah.
So, Lori, while still struggling to parent her rebellious adult daughter and teenage son, single Lori is not so single anymore after
she's in love.
She's in love. She had a quickie fling with Slade Smiley, and then she found her true Prince Charming, a wealthy landscaper who sweeps her out of her townhouse and into his mansion, boat, and a new BMW. Georgie boy. So Lori had a fan on the show who is actually a handsome guy, still has most of his hair, incredibly wealthy.
He seems really nice. He is a Republican. We'll get into that.
Yeah, but I mean, no one's perfect,
right.
And really wants to treat her right,
yeah.
And cares about her, and
he does.
It's so great.
Look, Lori she's a beautiful girl, but she does come with some baggage. I will say that.
Yes, and really, and he's still, it's so nice to watch it knowing how it all turned out, where it was like, God, he just really loves her.
Yeah.
And he still helps out with her family.
Yeah.
And he's just he's
a good guy.
He's the one good Republican.
Yeah.
Him and
not my mom.
Okay. Him and Vicky. He's we see all these scenes of her getting spoiled, he buys her that BMW that Vicky's so jealous of, takes her horseback riding, they both ride on a horse together, they're on a boat with all of their kids, shopping. It's all really nice.
It's very The Bachelor, these scenes, when they're when they go on the vacations and stuff, they're riding the horse and doing all the things, jumping in a pool. Yeah, it's a fantasy, except she still has to clock in 12 hours a week at Kodo.
I don't think she's working that much at Kodo. I mean, she's pretty much left Kodo except for the stain work we talked about, and she's starting her rich lady fake jewelry business.
Right. And she's getting she's got dinners with Mitt Romney now, so she's a busy girl.
She's now a part of her job is he's a big donor to the Republican Party, so she has to wear very conservative clothes to look the part, and she puts on this black dress that's
very low cut.
Almost see her nips, and she's this is conservative, right? And he's
yeah, she's going to a dinner, an event for Mitt Romney, who's a Mormon,
who calls his wife mother, Mike Pence, could not be more conservative. They probably won't serve alcohol there. And
she's I've been a Republican since I was 18, and you see Ashley in the confessionals. I loved that all these kids did the confessionals, and she's my mom's never even said the word Republican.
Yeah. She's I was a Republican because my parents always voted Republican. Girl, you didn't vote.
Girl.
I think she later admits she did not.
Yeah.
At the reunion, but but George, to his credit, even when she's in this hoochie outfit at the Republican dinner,
he still loves her.
He's not you need to change. He just loves her for her. It's really
By
sweet.
the way, she's got a banging bod. She's a hot lady. Let the girls play, and let the girls.
I'm sure. Yeah, he likes it. He likes showing her off.
And you know, give Mitt Romney a little bit of a show.
Yeah,
dinner and a show.
Dinner and a show. Mitt's a man after all. He's
a red-blooded American man.
Underneath that funny underwear, he's got a dick like anybody else. But they've only been together 6 months.
This is the most we've talked
about Mitt Romney.
Yeah.
Ever in life. Yeah, me too.
No, we haven't even talked about any presidential candidates fucking ever this long.
No. Why? No.
But Mitt Romney.
Mitt Romney. Now there's some real
I don't know. It's so depressing.
Yeah. Okay,
No.
back to the happy stuff. This really sad season of OC. So Ashley is staying. Lori's keeping her townhouse because it's like she and George. It's pretty clear they're gonna get married, but they've only been together for 6 months. So she's like, I'll just keep it. And then Ashley, she's 21. She can take care of it. And she doesn't have to pay rent. She just has to either like get a job or go to school and like not trash the place.
Right.
So of course we have an on-camera
trashes it like
so party,
like so beyond like anything, like the cat pooping on the floor, like
the poop is everywhere. Dude.
Yeah.
And it's like a townhouse. There's a lot of rooms for it to. It was like housing her family of like 4 and 3 dogs.
Yeah, it was like a squat house or something. Like,
yeah, it looks like a trap house. Like
yeah. Like there's like spray paint on the walls. Not really, but like we're almost there with Ashley, and she's like, "What's the big deal? Like you're like you're a Republican in a mansion now, Mom. Like, and I'm here with cat shit. Like, let me live."
Yeah, well, I think, okay, so Cam had an interesting perspective because he walked in on this part.
Nice.
So Lori comes over, like, to, do a random checkup to see if, like, Ashley's abiding by her rules, and obviously she's, like, horrified and, like, at the state of the house, and, like, Ashley has locked the door to her room, and she's, like, worried she's dead inside, and, like, Lori's, like, she's like, open the door, and Lori's daughter is, like, walking around, like, I'm scared the cat is dead in the room, and, like, crying, like... It's so intense. And that Cam was like, and then like she confronts, Ashley later, and Ashley's like, what, you're gonna be a mom to me now? Like, just because, like I had people over at the house, da da da. And Cam's like, well, in her defense, like, why is Lori doing this on camera? It's like, what is she expecting to get like anything but attitude from a 21-year-old when like confronting her about like wrecking her place on camera? And I was like,
Ashley's good TV.
Yeah, Lori, she knows she's got to give them some dirt. Her life is too squeaky clean right now. Josh is in juvie this whole season. She's got to
walk through some cat shit sometimes. And she still does own the home, and that still is her daughter.
Yeah, true. And I do think George is like a good influence on her parenting too. Apparently, like they talk a lot about like fan reception, now because they didn't have all the research on how breaking the fourth wall is bad, and how like a lot of fans thought that Lori was a shitty mom because she was partying with Ashley all the time last season. And so he's like, you have to like not just be a friend now, you've got to be a mom to her. And like I think she ended up turning out kind of normal. I think she's been on Watch What Happens Live. She seems like she's okay. So I think it's good that Lori took the reins on camera and humiliated her, rubbed her face in the cat shit.
Yeah, also like the mother-daughter relationship is always pretty complicated. And
it's true. That's another theme of the show. Mothers and daughters, daughters and mothers.
Mommy dearest.
So Lori's last thing is what kind of like the plot that would be like most recognizable to our OC audiences today is that she briefly dated Slade, Joe's boyfriend, in the off season, and then Joe and Slade got back together.
Regular
That's what
season.
I call it when they're not filming. And Lori, he told Joe, Slade told Joe that like Lori went for him hard, and Lori was like, actually, that wasn't true, and so then she reached out to Joe, and they almost broke up because of it, Joe and Slade, but then they worked it out, and then Lori reached out to her again and was like, I'm sorry, but I was telling the truth after they break up. Finally at the rap party, and then Slade, well, we'll get into it, brings another guy in his slimy, or brings another girl in his slimy. But their whole thing, it's like, it's not very dramatic, and it was also like, I don't give a shit.
No one gives a shit.
Like, no one gives a shit. It was really more compelling to see, the cat shit in the house.
Yeah. And that is... That's compelling television. Show me, like they didn't blur the shit out like you see a lot on TV. Yes. You just literally see it smeared everywhere.
It was a different time. It was like, like Flavor of Love, there was precedent. Like a girl dropped a turd on the ground, and then they showed it because they had to show for the character development of Flav not being able to get past it. And then he had to let her go home. And that's Lori. Yeah.
The kids are not all right.
Kids are not all right. All right, and that brings us to, speaking of kids that are not all right, this brings us to Gina. Season 2 finds Gina Keogh still in a house full of fighting kids since her oldest son, Shane, is home from baseball school with an injury. But she finds herself the most at odds. injury, yeah, of his pride. Finds herself at most at odds with her oldest child, her 52-year-old husband, Matt Keogh, an asshole with a traumatic brain injury who hates his sons and daughters and dogs.
But he's rich, bitch. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it seems like Gina is really the one making the bucks
She's making
these
money, but, like,
days.
baseball players get so much money, Lauren.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know a ton about baseball. It seems like he was obviously a pretty successful guy if he was scouting a Playboy model to be his heiress.
Yeah.
And they have 4 houses and stuff, but
Right.
it's like, and he still works, I guess. He, like, somewhat related to baseball. He travels, like, 200 days a
and
year.
he gets to, because he doesn't like his family.
Yeah, so I'm like, is it even a job, or does he just, like...
He's
It seems like it's probably a
volunteering
shitty job, yeah, that he's doing for free just to, like, be away from
his
his
wife
family
and
who he
kids.
hates.
Yeah.
Like, anytime, it's like they're, a typical rowdy family, and, like, Gina's so, like, unfazed by it, and, the siblings, they're all always fighting and noogieing each other and stuff.
Yeah.
It takes more of a turn to, like, the, like, dark,
Yeah.
like, more, like, shitty and violent this season, but Matt, from the beginning, like, we see him in the first scene with the kids, and he's so over it.
He's
Like,
so
he's like, you guys
done.
need to take a walk. You guys are overcooked. Get out of here. Like, what? Overcooked?
Yeah, oh god, Matt. Yeah, he really isn't doing okay.
Yeah, and he just can't, he doesn't like their life.
He doesn't, but it's like, okay, you have like 3 other houses, Matt. Just go to one of those houses right now.
And that's literally what Gina says. It's
Yeah.
like they're having serious problems with their marriage, but she's like, well, we're just too Midwestern to break up. We're just gonna hang in there and be unhappy till we die. And she's like, we got 4 houses, so he can just, stay in one of those.
Right.
The hardest part to watch is when they have Gina is threatening to sell one of their dogs on eBay.
This was fucking wild. Like, this is,
so
you would
funny.
not see this on TV. Like, and the fact that we're this far into the episode.
Scared.
Yeah, and we're this far into, like, the episode, and we're just now talking, like, this is really fucking crazy that she's like, I'm gonna sell a dog on eBay.
I mean, it's really just Gina being hilarious, but, like, PETA would be on your ass.
Oh my god,
yeah.
It's crazy. Like, if she had an Instagram, then, like, people would have been blowing it up, like...
Yeah, like, how dare you
sell a dog on eBay.
He's a child.
Yeah,
treat your kids however you want. Yeah. But that dog is, a person.
On eBay.
So finally, they decide not to sell the dog on eBay, and instead they get, like, a dog trainer who's like a pretty lady. And so Matt, like, comes skulking out of his room when he sees, like, the hot babe in his house. And he's like, oh yeah, I hate that dog. I hate all of our dogs. There are no dogs that exist to me but a black lab. And then whenever that dog's bad, I hold it up by his ear.
My God.
Or I hit it. And the dog trainer's like, haha, well, we never hit. And he's like, no, I'm just kidding. I just hold it up by the ear. And he's like, what the fuck, dude? He's like, I'm still mad at Gina because, her friends were here and they let the black lab out and they killed it. So her friends killed my dog. And like the dog trainer's like, okay. And then he's like, let me show you a video. Let me show you a video of the black lab and tell you more about its death. And he's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
It's like that guy that you dated that's like, hey, you like go on a date with a guy and then he's like, do you want to watch Faces of Death?
Yeah, and you're like,
no.
No. It's like, okay, we'll watch it with the commentary with Klaus Kinski. I'm like, no. That's Matt Keogh.
Yeah.
And then Matt, worst of all, he doesn't come to Gina's hibachi birthday with Vicky, and Gina's so sad. And even Vicky is like, you need to dump his ass. Even Kara, Gina's daughter.
Like, I wish my mom had a boyfriend.
Yeah, it's so sad how, like, it's just so normal for everyone, but Gina's like, well,
we're together forever. Yeah,
we're just together for we put too much work in, and he's at this point he's like the mailman to me, but whatever. But also later, Vicky and Gina go to another dinner, and interesting foreshadowing where Gina talks about, like, Vicky's like, why don't you, lose, woohoo, have an affair. And Gina's like, I just could never do that. Like, I would rather, like, we respect each other too much. Instead of cheating, I would just get a divorce. And Vicky's like, oh yeah, me too. Yeah. And it's like, even then you're like, she's already talked to Brooks. You can already tell at that dinner.
She's already talked to Brooks.
They've already emailed. Yeah. You can see it in her eyes.
She's been talking to Girth Brooks.
Old Girth Brooks, he's started the cancer shenanigans.
Oh God, we'll get to it later, students.
We'll get to it later. Okay, and then Gina's kids. We focus on Shane a lot this season because he was a big hit with the gay audience last season.
Yeah, and he's not wearing a shirt like most of this season. He's just like being mean, pretending to be injured and not wearing a shirt.
Yes, it's very like he's loving the camera time.
Yeah.
And then and then there again like the fake stuff really it's like all of the interpersonal drama and it really stands out so much like where it's like oh they're trying to like play up like I think that Shane and Joe are friends. Like they do seem like friends who are around the same age going through a similar weird TV experience, but there's always like, like trying to talk to him on camera, like, so what about Joe? Like, and it's like, it's just so, everything else is so real that it's like, oh, I just feel so spoiled. I was so spoiled by that season. Everything was real back then. When something was fake, it jumped out.
Well, even
like the cloud.
Yeah, like even at the reunion, Andy is like kind of like alluding to Joe and Shane, and he's like, Gina, what would you think of Joe as your daughter-in-law? And Gina's like, everyone saw him mad at the Lakers game, and they were like, you should just do Joe. Just go do her. It's like, what?
What the fuck? Yeah, go do
her. And Joe's like, what?
Yeah. I mean, to her credit, Joe, like, doesn't really play that game much.
No.
But Shane is very into, like, being... Well, it's kind of sad, though, because it's, like, part of it's for the camera, part of it, it's, like, scary. It's like, oh, my God, is Shane turning into an asshole like his dad? Like, he's bitter now because his baseball career's over, too. His only role model is a total... Like, I mean, he has a brain injury, so that's part of why he's a dick, but... And then he mail orders that girl from Canada.
He's like a red-blooded American male.
Lots of mail ordering women.
He's very Mitt Romney coded.
Yes. Yeah, he brings this like sister wife down, who's also a little bit Suicide Girl style coded.
Naughty.
And she's like on a juice fast the whole time, so she doesn't eat anything the whole time.
Yeah,
she's there. And just kind of like sits in their house, and then like sometimes he'll acknowledge her, and sometimes he won't. And it's like,
she's like the dog.
Yes, she's very much. Yeah, I'm sure they sold her on eBay.
Yeah.
It's just pretty bizarre behavior from not gay Shane again.
Yeah.
He also it's also so funny when like he's always like fighting and shitty to his brother and homophobic.
Right.
And then he and his brother call each other the F word on camera. And then at the reunion, Andy makes him apologize for it. Like Andy is like the Reverend Al Sharpton of the gays.
Yeah.
Like how like he used to make amends back then. He's like, well,
it
and he's like, I'm sorry.
It offends me because I'm a gay man.
Yeah. I was like, I miss when you could just, sit down with Andy Cohen or Al Sharpton.
And the way Andy looks this reunion, the hair.
Oh my God. He is babyface. Babyface Nelson.
So young.
Were we ever so young? Okay, so then speaking of Joe, let's get into Joe and Slade's, the fifth and self-proclaimed sixth housewife.
Oh my God.
After a reenacted fling with Lori, Joe and Slade reunited, this time with Slade doing less pretending that he has a job and custody of his sons, and more pretending that Joe has musical talent, and they aren't going to break up when she moves to LA for work soon. So, yeah. So, this is
they're doing the dance. Yeah, the dance.
Yeah, it's I think that like they're a little more comfortable on camera now.
And Joe's a little more like, well, I don't know, she oscillates between like I'm over his shit and I don't need him, and then also like I cannot do this without him sort of thing.
I think it's like part of it is like the show, I mean, I think they do like love each other. Like when they finally do have their breakup scene when she's cooking him dinner, it is like emotional. You can tell that there's love there, but I think a lot of it is they're like, fuck, neither of us are going to be on this show anymore.
Right.
They're also like, that like they know it's not going to work, but they want to be on TV. Michelle?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you cut out.
You broke up for a second. I didn't hear the last thing you said. Sorry. Jason cut that part.
Oh, just that like, I think it's like part of it is they are in, they know they're going to break up, but they're like being,
right.
They just aren't ready. But part of it is also, I think they're not ready to not be on TV.
On camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's hard business to break into, and Slade's been trying for a while, Lauren, so let him live.
I do think he loved Joe. Like,
Not as much as he loves the camera.
I just think he loves the camera the most.
Yeah.
And he obviously proves that by, at the rap party immediately after, or like the finale party,
right.
Immediately after they break up, he is like brought, another girl, hoping that maybe that girl can be the new housewife he dates on camera. Doesn't work out, but it works out for him later,
Right.
It's just like it's just like it's the same old song and dance from Slade, literally.
Yeah.
But this is the first time, so it's like Joe is now like wanting to do a music career, and Slade is her manager, which I think it's him really kind of pushing it. Just so, what was really happening is they were trying to sell a show together off.
Maybe they wanted like a newlyweds or something.
They got one. It was like so I think that like they're kind of laying the groundwork for that. So it was called Joe and Slade Date My Ex.
Oh
it
my
was
God.
unwatchable. They would play it like between millionaire matchmakers.
Ooh.
And it was just so bad. And that it was actually the way that Bravo learned you can't really take people out of this environment. And it's part of like that's part of why they're so reticent to like do crossovers or like, bring people on from other franchises and have them cross, or like, do spinoffs.
Well,
they've had some successful spinoffs, but it's
Bethany
because it shows
Ever
like,
After.
Which was also
pretty dark and
and
actually, the two people on this podcast you're listening to, half of us find it to be unwatchable, and the other half really likes the psychosis.
Well, I haven't given it a fair shake.
We don't,
to be honest.
as you should not.
Well, no, I didn't like the one where they're happy.
Yeah,
like, I didn't like the one where it's like
Bethany Ever After. Yeah,
not for me. But I think the like Bethany divorced or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that one I would like. I just haven't watched it yet.
Well,
we'll recap it.
We'll recap it.
Yeah, should we recap it, guys? Tell us.
We should, because I think we need to. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. But I think we need to go back to the beginning of Bethany not being well.
Yeah, and it's a good like I think it'll be a good break for us to do like because we can't go straight through with OC. I think everybody. I think it's too much for the listeners too.
Especially when we get to this is all going to be cut, but the Kelly years.
I know, especially because the Kelly years I just watched twice in the past month.
You're
so it's going to be
sick. This is why you shit all the time, Lauren.
I know. It's too much Kelly Dodd. It's toxic for my bowels.
You're a cunt. You know that.
I've really come around on her, I gotta say, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah, it's really, it's crazy. Okay, yeah, Jake had all that.
So it's a lot of shenanigans, but and a lot of like Joe partying. Also, Joe's auditioned and found a much hotter cast of friends this season, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Her like friend who she's always with looks like Summer Glau. She's like a beautiful
she's
like a model.
Yeah. And she's like, oh my God, the psychic. I mean, if the psychic says you shouldn't be with Slade, you shouldn't be with Slade.
And she was
right.
Listens.
And Slade was there.
Yep. Oh yeah, that was one of our favorite scenes that we actually were texting about was that it's the first psychic on camera. So another like big moment for Real Housewives. Many psychics are especially important on OC, as like this is like they're always bringers of plot lines for people who are afraid to say it. And we'll see that later with Brooks's cancer, etc. But so then Slade and Joe are clearly going to be breaking up, and so she sits down and she's with Slade, but she thinks Slade's in another room and talks with the psychic about whether she was Slade or not. And then Slade, we get his talking head, and he's like, she didn't know it, but I was sitting right behind her. And it's like a chair. She's not even like fully back turned. It's like it's like freight, like it's some kind of like a pantomime, like British pantomime.
Yeah.
He's right behind her.
The whole time? The whole time?
It's like so clear. He's like got a boom mic over his head, and she's like, I didn't realize, but the psychic said.
Oh my God.
And he was right there the whole time.
Yeah.
We wanted like an intercut of Slade behind like people in all the Bravo shows the whole time. every big moment. In Cartagena,
Yeah, like with his
on the
fingers doing
ship,
the like yeah.
Scary
Yeah.
Islands,
Oh my god. Yeah,
um,
he's been there the whole time.
the whole time. Yeah. When there were 2 sets of
Mm.
footprints on the sand, that was when Slade Smiley was sitting
Oh
behind you in a chair the whole time.
my god.
Okay. So, yeah, this was our first real reunion, like where it was like not just in Vicky's
Right.
backyard doing reenactments, where it was
Right.
like we're in the clubhouse, everyone's getting paid except for all the kids who they make
Yep.
come out and
Yep.
grill them, but they don't get paid for it.
Right.
Like, it's the first clubhouse reunion hosted by a ripe young Andrew
And
Cohen as
he
the ladies
is
fielding
young.
softballs
Yeah.
and candidly answering questions about their boobs, faces, marrying for money, and viewers judging their
Mm.
parenting. Yeah, Andy looks, I mean, he always looks great, but it's like, it's wild to see
He's
him,
so young.
our
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
And also again, I come back to like my big thing with this season is like everyone's still being honest. Like now when they're like, who here's had plastic surgery? You know, they still do that at reunions sometimes. And it's like no one raises their hand. And this he's like, who here's gotten a boob job? Everybody raises their hand. Who's here's gotten a nose job? Lori's like, well, me, but it was for a bum. Who here's gotten, fillers and Botox? Everyone's like, yes. Like, oh, who here's gotten like, ragged on for being a bad parent, and they're all like, yeah. Who here has voted Republican? Yeah. Who here has voted? No, none of us vote. It's like it's so good, the candor
God,
before like
yeah.
the world was watching. It's just,
and it was like before they were like, we're gonna wear these crazy gowns, and we see them getting ready in the train. Like before, it was like this huge big event. And this was just like, we're gonna just ask, like, it's just like a gay man asking like women.
Viewers want to know.
Yeah, like, are you really a Republican?
Yeah, I just really miss. I mean, obviously, like all the production of it all, and the pageantry is fun, but it's like at the end of the day, it's crazy. It wasn't even really like a performance review.
Yeah,
it wasn't like a test or like a way to mend fences. It was just like, tell me about your tits.
Yeah, it's like literally like a gay man who's like a fan of the show getting to ask these women like these questions. And, like before, Andy was like over it all. He kind of seems over it a little bit. But
yeah, when he was still like, and when he was like still producing, and excited and loved, like, it was all developing.
Yeah,
and, it was just such a different time,
right.
And it does. I can't help but get a little nostalgic.
I know, tears.
But this season's a banger, and it's going to be a strong return for season 18 of OC, and we'll continue to recap those as well. Make friends of new seasons, but keep the old seasons. Andy Cohen's silver-haired now.
Yeah.
And he used to be
also silver-haired.
Not old.
Oh.
Yeah, it's less silver.
Yeah.
Okay, so so you had a really good theme for this season, Michele.
Oh, the kids are not all right.
And the kids are not all right.
They're not all right. They're all fucking insane.
I mean, that's like maybe my one note for the season. It's like, ooh, we are really spending a lot of time on these fucked up kids for kids who are not getting paid.
They're not getting paid, and they're just like, I'm like, Knickerbocker's kid is like, I'm just happy I have like a house and I can like party. What? And then obviously like Ashley with a cat poop, and Lori's son, and
Shane saying the F word,
right?
And
it's a lot. The Mac, or who's the other Gina's kid that's like yelling at the dog person. I mean, it's like it's just a lot with these kids, and
it's a lot.
But thank you for opening up your lives to us, even though you're under the age of 18. A lot of you.
Yeah. What a different time. Like before it was like lay off the kids.
Yeah, you could like fully exploit your children.
Yeah. Before Gia ever yelled at Joe Giudice, Shane was calling Tammy Knickerbocker tits to her face. So,
waking up in the morning, thinking about so many
things. Tits. Just wish my tits would get bigger. Stupid.
85% of the women have breast implants in the OC.
R.I.P. Kimberly, and your boob calculator. Okay, some motifs. We talked a lot. I think we really painted a rich tapestry of the literary significance of the season, but some other motifs would be Vicky always whooping it up, always bringing the party. Women who had it all and lost it all are always going to be a staple of the OC being Republican is always going to be the OC. Vicky having meltdowns, Vicky being resentful. She's got to work for everything. And marriages and relationships ending on camera. We saw a bunch die, and we have so many more to come. So many more.
Yes. Yes.
Just you wait. And then also we have Slade basically doing his whole pattern that we'll just see him repeat again and again later in a storyline where he's like a manservant, where he's being really inappropriate and ridiculing a partner about their weight, but he has that flipped on him later, which is karmic justice, but still sad. Trying to push an untalented housewife's music career, trying to be a sixth housewife, lots of men trying to launch fake businesses on the show, lots of grifting, and of course the first Playboy party.
Loves it.
What grade would you give this?
Oh my god,
season,
it's an
Michele?
A, easy A.
Yeah,
like the Emma Stone movie. Easy A.
I know. I would give it an A+, but all the child exploitation
it's a lot.
took away the plus,
yeah,
and it's just a regular A. An A for Aqua Air Angels.
I know you love it.
I can't believe you're not as obsessed with them as me. They could have been the Red Bull girls if people liked water that you make from adding oxygen to water.
Oh my god, Lauren, like you're so obsessed with it, you can barely get words out. Like you're like flustered.
What? No, I said that normal.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, I give it an A2. And then, yeah, well, let me cut this part out because I did not wrap it up good. So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to Bravo Breakdowns podcast. Follow us on Instagram at Bravo_Breakdowns and same on TikTok, Bravo_Breakdowns. We will be making some educational videos of this season. We are gonna get back to our study guide type content and new type study guide content to really educate the children so they can really appreciate this new season of OC.
Yeah.
Contact us, give us an oral exam. We love you. We miss you. We'll have a lot of famous celebrities and this season played by comedians, but
famous nonetheless.
Yeah, and probably a high tier of comedians.
Yeah, like John Mulaney. John Mulaney is going to be on our podcast playing Vicky Gumbelson. So,
my God,
or Kelly Dodd. Yeah,
he loves the Housewives.
He does. He really
does.
I know.
Yeah, he watched it with his ex-wife.
Right.
And then yeah, we end every episode with an oral exam. It's a 1-minute essay on a pop culture topic of your choice. Michele, would you like to start?
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little rogue here. I'm gonna go a little Rachel Goes Rogue, but I think you'll appreciate what I'm doing for the
Okay,
kids.
I love it. Does that mean you're gonna go over time?
No.
Okay.
It means I haven't really prepared something, but...
Oh, no, I love that. I love an impromptu, you're such an extemporaneous girl.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, this is Michele Weber's oral exam. Her time starts now.
In this essay, I will prove that I have, what's it called? Red Alert, Emergency 911, Breaking Bravo News. Lauren, while we were recording this podcast, literally... Tom Sandoval fires his attorney, claims he was misled into suing Ariana Madix and has no ill will against her. He said, quote, late Tuesday morning, my attorney, Matt Garagos, whose advice I trusted, called about the cross-compliant complaint in the lawsuit against myself and Ariana. Anyway, so he's dropping the lawsuit because he looks like a huge asshole. And I'm just glad that I get to share this information with the world who has probably already seen it by the time this podcast comes out. So the first lawsuit that went out today against Ariana has been dropped officially. That's my time.
Michele, I have to share something with you.
No.
It actually was dropped 17 minutes before the podcast
God
started.
damn it. Emergency.
But hey, it's still big news,
Well, because we were talking about it at the beginning.
Right, but then we got too into the Emmys and like we couldn't even really get into it,
Well,
but actually I think I'm gonna spitball off of that for my oral exam. No, this was a good jumping off point for sure. And it's good, we need to get this news to the people.
Yeah. We're a man of the people.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. In this essay, I will prove I do believe that the next season of VPR, even though it seemed like it was going to suck, I do believe the level of debauchery that Tom Sandoval and his ilk are going through is gonna be disturbing levels. I mean, it's not even being reported on that much because it is such like a garbage type drama. But like, I think like if we got Joe back in there, like it's not gonna be the same caliber or thing, but it is going to be kind of a season of scary trash. When Victoria Lee Robinson, she has never had a job before. When she was asked about her job and that she was accused of having a drug addiction on a podcast, she said, "I do a job. I have 2 homes and I own them, and I care for my father who has swelling in his brain."
Swelling in his brain.
Could not really get a sentence out of her. They said, okay, so he's got an injury. No, he's got brain swelling. I actually did run a credit report on Victoria. She has never owned a house.
Nice.
And also like, she as, she's modeled, but like there's her only modeling job that you see on her Instagram. It's like a Vogue, like a Photoshop of the word Vogue underneath. So it's like, basically she's an escort. And also, I'm sorry, I am like, I can say this, it takes one to know one, as a substance abuser girly who used to have a very dark Instagram of out of focus pictures that were like randomly updated and like kind of no rhyme or reason to it. These are the pictures that are coming out on Victoria's Instagram like regularly now that she's like in the public and having it. It's like, it's not good. They're in a dark place. It's gonna get gnarly. I mean, he's waking up, going to podcasts, interviews, like with Nick Viall, like, 2 hours late. Like it's gonna be gnarly. Billy Lee's gonna get in there. It's gonna be, I mean, it might not be what you guys are used to, but
it's gonna be something. And
it's gonna be something.
It's something, honey. And I need to see more of Victoria's monologues. Like, just that one we saw about the brain swelling and the owning 2 homes and not being able to get out a sentence. Like,
You know who she was giving me? Have you seen Tombstone, where Wyatt Earp's wife is addicted to laudanum?
Oh my God, yes.
She's very beautiful, but she's drinking like the opium alcohol. That is who Victoria is giving me.
And that's what we're going to get next season of VPR, I hope.
Laudanum Girlies.
Yes.
Yeah. They're going to have to rename it Laudanum Girlies.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and I'm down. It's like, if you love things, you have to let them change.
Right. Yeah, evolve.
And it seems like it's going to be that, and then like the lawsuit between Lisa Vanderpump is going to get in on the Penny lawsuit against something about her.
Yeah, and we're actually going to see something about her being open, so we'll have that to look forward to.
And while in the throes of legal trouble.
Right.
So I'm just saying, I mean, it might not be the season you guys wanted, the people who just want to see Ariana and Katie selling sandwiches, but I would rather see this dark, horrific
Dark Passenger.
OC season 2, Dark Passenger style show than, the Katie and Ariana show. I'm sorry, I love them. I wish them all the best. Wish them all the best, but that's not my show. And this is close.
But but Victoria, there's something about her.
There's something about, I'd rather have a Laudanum girly than, thriving,
like a
beautiful
Subway.
girly.
Yeah, I don't need like a Subway sandwich.
No. Give me the Laudanum girlies.
Yes.
And bring Joe back, please.
Oh my God, I want to see Victoria and Joe just like go get a hot dog.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Joe's lives are so
I know
twisted and toxic, and oh my gosh, her like lack of self-awareness is she's like, I had to. She's one with the Instagram. She's one with the Instagram of a clear substance abuse, and she also is like sitting there and being like, I had to work for everything I had. I don't have like rich parents or anything. While her mother, who's a doctor, is sitting next to her in their like $2 million mansion,
and she's like, I need money for my dog.
Yes, that's so good.
She spent all of her money on like improv classes at Groundlings or something. She's giving me that vibe.
Ooh. She definitely, if she took anywhere, it would be Groundlings.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't Improv Olympic.
It's character work. It's not IO, it's not UCB. She's not doing game-based sketch. She's giving like Stewie, she's giving Mad TV.
She's giving you like 94 like Groundlings work.
Yes. Yeah, and not the Phil Hartman kind.
Oh yeah.
The other kind.
No. The Lisa Kudrow kind. No, I like her. She went to Groundling.
The Valerie Cherish.
Oh, yes.
Oh, there's going to be a comeback season 3.
Oh my God, it's the best show.
It's so good. Hot tea, you heard it here first. Fresh from the set oven, just like that.
Fresh from the... Oh my God, Kim
What?
Cattrall's going to be on season 3, but isn't shooting anything with Sarah Jessica Parker.
I kind
Did
of
you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you. I think we have a delay.
Okay.
We have a
I think
lag.
so too. I gotta go though because
and you're about to have
gotta
jet
go to
lag because
bed.
you've got to go early in the morning to the flight. Anyway, we love you guys, students.
Bye.
See you next week, season 3.
Bye.
And we love you, Michele. Have a good trip to Florida.
I know, Florida.